Hey guys, Steven here with Team Covenant. I got Zach, and we're here with Todd Rowland, the creative director of Doomtown Reloaded. This is kind of the relaunch of an old classic that I know a lot of players, a lot of our fans were super into back in the day. Happy to see that this game's seeing the light of day again, and we're going to have Todd walk us through how the game works and maybe some of the changes for the old players that have played the old one, and just get you an idea of what it's like to be in the Doomtown universe and playing with these guys. So Todd, take it away, man.
Okay, so in Doomtown Reloaded, you are playing as one of 4 factions that are competing for control of Gomorrah, California. Okay, they are going to win it by gunfighting or buying out the town or any other means they can do it. You want to have more control. The way you do that is that you accumulate more control points and your opponent has influence, and I'll explain how all that works in a moment. When you play the game, you start with a outfit card. This tells you who you are. So for instance, on this side of the board, we've got the Law Dogs. They're the sheriff. They're the ones who maintain law and order in the town. And then on this side of the board, we've got the Sloan Gang. They're the outlaws. They're there to cause chaos and just try and show that they own the place over anybody else.
You're darn straight.
This seems very appropriate, actually, you know.
Also, in the box, you also get enough cards to build 2 other decks for the other factions, which are the Morgan Cattle Company. They're sort of the money interests. They're the big business in the town and ranching. And then you've got the 4th Ring, which is sort of a strange, corrupt circus that lives outside of town.
Oh, man, so
and,
cool.
Wants to... they have their own machinations going on.
So there's enough in the core set to build 4 decks.
You can build 4 entire decks out of one box.
And this game does have a multiplayer format.
It does have a multiplayer format. Most of our tournament games are going to be 2-player, but you can also play multiplayer up to as many people as you want. It becomes a little unwieldy
nice.
after
But maybe that's what
4
you
people.
want.
But you could do that. Yes, you can. It totally supports it.
Nice.
So the way you're going to win the game is through your dudes. Your characters, we call them dudes. They have this red chip that's called your influence. Okay, influence is what you're going to compete with your opponent on control. I'm going to go ahead and show you a card before we start playing, so you can see how it works. We have deeds such as Charlie's Place.
Like
Charlie's,
a location.
Yes, it's a location. It's a saloon. It's worth 1 control point. If you accumulate more control points than your opponent has influence on the table, at the end of the turn, you win the game.
Nice.
Okay, it works that way for either player. Whoever gets the most control wins, as long as it's above the opponent's influence. Well, how am I going to get rid of influence if all his guys have influence? The main way?
Kill 'em.
Shoot them.
Shoot 'em.
Yes.
Kill 'em.
And we'll get into that fun stuff here in just a minute. So to take you through a basics of a game, after the players have revealed their outfit, they have a certain amount of ghost rock, which is the currency in the game. Your outfit tells you in the bottom left how much you have. So Sloan Gang starts with 18, Law Dogs start with 19. You can then choose up to 5 characters from your deck to be your starting posse.
And that can change every game.
It can change every game. You can change out who you want to have start. What you have to do is you have to pay for them, though. In the bottom left is their cost. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 10, 13. So out of the Sloan Gang's 18, they have to go ahead and pay 13 back to the bank to start with this group. There's some rules about who can start. Basically, you can start anybody in your faction or a drifter. Drifter are like the unaligned people. You can't start anybody from another faction. They can join you later. They just can't be part of your starting posse.
Excellent. Okay.
So both sides have chosen who they're going to start with. Then at that point, both players are going to draw up 5 cards to make their hand. This is what we call your play hand. These are the cards you're going to use throughout the turn to do things. Now the fun part about your play hand is once you've drawn it, you're going to go ahead and set it down. Because the first thing you're going to do in your turn is not use your play hand. You're going to put it down. You're going to take 1 ghost rock from your stash. You might want to
Trade
make
this
changes.
guy
Is this
out.
the first phase of every turn?
First phase of every turn.
What's it called?
It's called Lowball.
right.
We're going to play Lowball. You're going to ante up 1 ghost rock each.
I got you on this
You're going
Bring
to
it
draw
on.
the top 5 cards of your deck. So if that is that your play hand or is that your?
That's my top 5.
Okay, so
And then now the next 5.
now you draw the next 5 as your play hand, or as your Lowball hand. You just show them to each other, and whoever has the worst hand is going to be the first player for the turn.
Pair forward.
Pair of aces.
All right, so the pair of 4s is Lowball.
That's important to know. Are aces high or low in this
Aces
game?
count as, I'm sorry, aces count as low. I'm sorry, you corrected me. Aces count as low in this game.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah,
thanks,
so
Zach.
actually he's low ball winner. Sometimes even I forget. So those go to your discard pile.
I'm not saying nothing next time.
Your deck is going to reshuffle, so it's okay to go ahead and discard all of that.
Oh, okay.
Your deck will reshuffle when you reach the end. Low ball winner collects his ghost rock, so you now made a little bit of money off
Thanks
low ball.
for the money, Zach. Appreciate
Yes.
that.
Now you go back to your play hand, and starting with the lead player, he can choose to do something. This is what we call our noon phase. During noon, you can recruit more dudes, pay their costs, put them into play. Dudes always enter play at your home. All these guys are considered to be at home. You can pay for a deed, which will go on your street, which is how you'll get more control points, more money, various types of income. Or you can attach goods to your people, guns, horses, crazy inventions, spells, stuff like that.
Have to be at home or anything to attach it?
They don't have to be at home.
So I can attach it over in his location?
Yes, you can walk across the street and then attach a gun.
Excellent.
You can. So, on your turn, we'll just go ahead and pick out something for you to do for fun.
This seems...
Yes, you have that. Let's go ahead and
do that.
He has a general store, so he's going to pay 2 Ghost Rock from his stash, put the general store on his street. General store is now considered adjacent to his home, so his people can move there if they want to. But that was one play. That was one noon action, so now we'll go over to Zach's noon action.
Going down, buddy.
And so he can choose what he wants to do.
All right, I'm gonna put Carter's bounties in play.
So he plays 2. So next turn, as you notice on the deed, it costs 2, but at the beginning of each turn during upkeep, it's going to make more Ghost Rock for you. So you're going to start building your economy by having control of more of the town.
Nice,
Now,
all right.
When does the economy happen?
The economy happens at the beginning of the turn during an upkeep phase. You didn't do it on the first turn, but you're going to start doing it on the second
So you
turn.
don't do it on the first.
You don't do it on the first turn.
Okay.
I think this looks like a reasonable thing.
That looks like a good, reasonable
to represent.
purchase. So
All right.
you're going to pay 1.
Let's pay 1 for a pair of 6 shooters.
And he's going to give a pair of 6 shooters to one of his dudes. What the pair of 6 shooters does is, if the opponent is cheating, that means if he reveals a hand that could not be made in a legal 52-card deck, so let's say he had 3 Ace of Hearts.
Yeah.
Right? That would be considered a cheating hand. If you have the pair of 6 shooters and your opponent is cheating, you get to turn any card in your hand into anything else you want, any value you want.
One
It
goes
becomes a
wild. Okay. I'm going to give it to Tommy. He's going to be my
All right.
real...
So Tommy's going to get the pair of 6 shooters.
All right, so
He's got a rifle and a pair of 6 shooters.
I want to move.
All right, so another thing you can do during the noon is movement. Movement it seems more complicated than it is. It's actually very simple. As long as you're moving to an adjacent place, you don't boot. You just move there.
Any adjacent place.
Any adjacent place. So if you're at your home and you move to Carter's Bounties, you don't boot. You just slide right over.
Okay.
If you move to the town square, you don't boot. The town square is considered adjacent to everything. So if you're in town square, you don't boot. And then if he chose to move over to his general store, he wouldn't boot. The only thing is there's a few deeds that are called out of town. Out-of-town deeds are considered unadjacent to anything, so you would have to boot to move to out-of-town deeds. Things like ranches and mines
Now,
and
once
stuff like
once
that.
I'm here, am I still adjacent to town square?
You're still adjacent to town
So I
square
can move from here to town square without booting?
without booting on another action, but each move is a single action which your opponent then gets to do something.
Okay, and so could I move like from Carter's to the general store, but I have to boot?
No, you have to do it one step at a time. You have to mosey out into the town square, and then mosey on over to the general store.
So when do I boot to move?
You boot to move when you join a posse when we get into a gunfight, and we'll explain that in just a moment. Basically, if you are in a... We'll explain a gunfight in a minute. We'll get to it in a moment.
All right,
Because
so
it'll happen real soon.
how do I move Allie to town square?
So if you're going to move Allie from your home to the town square, you simply slide her up toward the middle of the board. Allie's walked out into the town square, hanging out in town.
Oh, yeah, Allie?
Now it's over to the Law Dogs to see what they want to do in response. You may want to do nothing. You may want to move out there as well.
Let's just throw Tommy out there.
All right, so now we got 2 folks hanging out in the middle of the street in this known for chaos town. We're going to see what happens.
We got to get the law down
I'm going
here.
to go ahead and move Clint to the middle.
All right, so Clint has now moved to the town square too. So we got 2 people on the outlaw side,
Well,
1 person on the
feel
Law
lucky?
Dogs.
it feels like I should go ahead and let's just put old Philip out there.
All right, good old Philip Swinford.
I've got the most nice looking outfit in town, and you bunch of
Of course, the Law Dogs are clean cut, right?
They are. Look at him.
Shiny as
Look
can
at
be.
Philip. He's happy. He's ready.
All right. Now, if it says noon boot, how do I do that?
So a noon boot means, as a noon action, which you could do now during the noon phase, you would boot her, meaning which is essentially just turn her sideways. It says if Allie is at the town square, she permanently gains a control point. If you remember, control points are normally on deeds. She would gain 1 to herself, which would make her 1 more point toward winning the game.
Done. Do we have a token for that?
We do have a token for that, actually, as the set does come with poker chips, so we'll take a blue, which matches control. So Allie is basically standing in the middle of the street, mouthing off that they run the town, therefore she's worth a control
It's
point.
totally true, though, right?
Right.
So what if I want to shoot down Allie?
If you want to shoot down Allie, what you're going to do is, as your next noon action, you're going to say, I'm calling you out.
I'm calling you out.
All right, so now...
Allie?
It's over to you. You have the choice to either accept the call out or to chicken out. If you chicken out, your guys boot and move home.
I'm not
Booted
chickening
characters
out.
cannot chicken out.
Okay, so she's stuck.
She's stuck.
She's
Now,
stuck.
if she goes away for some reason, what happens at this point?
If she dies, it goes with her.
All right, I accept.
Okay, so he has accepted the shootout.
Shoot
Now
it.
we have a phase where we call foreman posses. Anyone
Sounds
who
fun.
is there can join the posse. So they are a posse, they're a posse.
They have to join the posse.
They don't have to.
Okay.
They don't have to. Then anyone who is in an adjacent space can boot to move to join the posse if they wish to. So you could leave Clementine and Lawrence at home, or either of them, because the town square is adjacent to everything, they could boot to join that posse. The main thing is they'll still be there, they'll still be contributing, they'll still be shooting, they just can't boot to do any
Now,
actions.
does the guy that did who forms up first? I feel like that's important.
Lead designer?
The guy who called you out.
Yeah, he forms up first. He's gonna have to choose who he sends in first.
Yeah, let's put. I don't want to go all in. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't
feel
want
like
to
you could lose the game really
everyone.
quick.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you go all in too early and they wipe out all of your influence
you
and they
have
drop
influence
down
and they
one
have a
point of
point,
control,
they just win.
you win.
I'm adding nobody. I'm adding nobody.
Yeah, nobody. I'm gonna add Clementine. She's in.
Seems fine.
All right, so I added Clementine.
Okay, so Clementine is booted to join
What's next?
the Outlaw. So now what we're going to do is we go to the shootout phase. Now
right.
you look at some cards. Some cards will have a shootout action on them.
Sort of like that, but it's
It says shootout in bold. Some action cards will have shootout on them. So starting with the start player, which was you, who won Lowball, you get the first opportunity to play a shootout action if you wish. If you don't have to, you can say pass. If you pass, then it goes to him. If both players pass consecutively, we go on to resolution.
I do have an action.
Okay, so he
Oh,
can
baby.
declare his
Don't be a
action.
bitch.
I'm gonna do this. The stakes just rose. Move one of your dudes into your posse. I'm gonna guess it's Prescott here,
Yeah, he does not have to boot. The action moves him.
and he becomes a stud.
He is no longer a draw bullet, which is your brass bullet. He's now considered a silver bullet, which is very important, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay, I was gonna say, what's the difference there? All right.
Oh, well, actually, I can tell you right now, the difference between a stud and a draw, when we are making our hands to determine who wins the shootout, studs just add more cards to your hand. So instead of a 5-card hand, you got an 8-card hand, a 9-card hand. Draws let you then discard to redraw.
Yeah.
So studs are basically stronger because you're just going to have a bigger hand as opposed to having to choose things to get rid of to draw more, which you'll see in a moment.
So he's a 3 stud.
He's a 3
thanks to his
stud.
ability.
All right, so now I can take an action.
You can take a shootout action as well.
Well, son, you got sun in your eyes.
Oh no.
So choose a dude in this shootout. That dude gets -2 bullets and becomes a draw.
Oh, back
so
to
now
draw.
he's back to a draw. He's a 1 draw.
Boom! What's happening?
Well, that's all great, Zach. However, I'd really like to just pistol whipple Clint Ramsey back home.
So someone has to boot to do it.
Let's just beat old Prescott.
All right, so Prescott boots to pistol whip Clint in the face, which sends him back home booted.
Since there was sun in his eyes, it only made sense, you know. Ah!
He starts swinging wildly.
That's right.
So now it's back to you if you have any shootout actions.
You brought this on yourself, man. I
Oh,
don't.
the stakes just rose.
She kidnapped herself, man.
All right, so now if both players pass consecutively, we go to the resolution phase. Both players will go to their deck and initially draw 5 cards up.
Now, do we count all the bullets from all the dudes?
What you start with, once you've drawn your 5, you look for any studs you have.
I'm
now,
not a stud.
you declare your lead shooter, which in your case is going to be Tommy.
I'll be
Allie's going to be your lead shooter. You draw one more card for your stud. You have no
stud,
stud.
Zach. That's a
So you
bummer.
take your hand, you go ahead and look at your hand. Now, for each other person who's not your lead shooter, these were lead shooters, they count as 1 of whatever they are. So you can discard up to 2 cards and redraw up to 2 cards. You have to do them all at once, but it doesn't have to be all of them. You can just do 1 or 2. You have a 2, and that counts as 1, so you can discard up to 3
Discard
and
one.
redraw.
I can discard 1 though, right?
You
If I
can
want?
discard 1 if you want.
Oh, this is tough.
No. All right, so once you've done that, you're going to make your best 5-card poker hand.
This is not good.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna. I'll go ahead and draw this one.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, now you have 6 cards, so you have to get down to 5. All right, then we both go to our reveal, and we reveal your poker hand. Got a full house, 2s and aces.
Full house. It's totally cheating, though.
Cheating hand. Now, if you notice, it is cheating because 2 of the aces happen to be the same suit and value. Totally works as a full house, but there may be effects that will change that.
That Sloan gang loves to cheat.
So then you go ahead and reveal your poker hand.
Well, the thing is, I got a pair of 4s. and another pair of 4s,
Oh,
and a 5. But I have cheating.
So we have 4 of a kind cheating. So now pick up your play hand. We're going to look if you have any cheating cards that say cheating real big. You don't happen to have any. Now you have a few guys here. The law does not take kindly to cheating in their town. Philip Swinford says each time a player reveals a cheating hand, and your hand is legal, yours is not legal, so you don't get to do that. You get to discard a card and draw a new one. So Philip doesn't get to use his because you were cheating too. Tommy Harden says, if your opponent in Tommy Shootout reveals a cheating hand, raise your draw hand rank by 1 for this round. If yours is also legal, raise it by 2 instead. Well, you are not cheating. Now, here's the trick though. Look at this, cheating resolution.
oh,
Boot.
baby.
Boot the pair of 6 shooters to change 1 card in your draw hand to any suit and value you want. Make that an ace of spades
I'm gonna
instead.
make that an ace of spades. I don't want to be
Your
cheating
hand is
anymore,
now
Zach.
legal because it's an ace of spades. So Philip can go off, which will let you, if you can choose to discard a card from your play hand to draw another one if you want to.
Probably not gonna have money for him. So
Yeah,
let's
you're not
see
gonna have
another
money
card.
for him for a while. All right, and then Tommy Harden is going to raise your hand rank by 2 ranks.
Why, hello.
So,
I got robbed.
You have 4 of a kind, so we go to our hand ranks. 4 of a kind is an 8. A full house is a 7, but it got raised to a 9. That means he is now 1 rank higher than his opponent, so his opponent has to take 1 casualty.
All right.
The way casualties work, if you're taking 1 casualty, you have to send at least 1 person home. You discard at least 1 person. If you're taking 2 casualties, you have to ace at least 1 person. That means they're dead.
Now,
so
can
you're
I
only
discard 2 guys?
no. You have to. You have to
ace.
fulfill. You have to ace as much. You have to go as high as you can. So with you have to discard 1 of your people. So you discard
I wanted Allie.
Clementine.
All right.
Now what we're going to do is we go to the.
I need to die.
I know you needed that. So now the cards you played in your poker hand all go to the discard pile.
All right.
And starting with the lead player, you get to determine whether to stay in the shootout or to end it.
I'm staying.
Now you get to choose whether to stay in the shootout or to chicken
Can she
out.
go
Now,
away?
She can't.
Chicken out.
Can she chicken out? Is
Yeah.
it muted?
Yeah, anybody can chicken out. So
Oh, I'm sorry, I
you should
mistold
run.
you. She can move home,
But
but
only,
she does run
only
home.
after the first resolution.
Only after the first round.
Yeah.
So
You
you
can't-
can always chicken out from the shootout if you're still there.
Well, she's going to go ahead and take her point and roll.
She takes her control point,
That'll
runs
teach
home.
you to mouth off at Town Square there, Allie.
And now that shootout is over, we now go back to noon action. So if anybody has any more noon actions they want to do, buying, you can even go start another shootout if you want to. You can chase people down if you feel like it. Now, the one thing is, if you ever go to the opponent's home and you try to call them out, they can always just say, nope, I'm upstairs. I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
So you can always be safe at home.
Okay.
You can also never take control of a home.
So it's my action, right?
It's your action now. It's your noon action now.
Play Silas.
Silas.
Silas Ames.
I got no noon actions left. I'm
gonna pass.
gonna stay in
I'm gonna
Town
pass
Square.
it. So
All right.
you go until both players pass?
Yes, you go until both players pass. Now we go to what we call the Sundown Phase. In the Sundown Phase, we check to see if there's a winner. You have 2 control points. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 influence, so you're not winning.
Does he count himself?
He
He
counts
does,
himself.
yeah.
You have 1 control point, and you have 1, 2 influence, so you're not winning. So we're going to go to another round of the game.
All right, so do we get a discard, draw?
You
What does
may
that?
discard up to 1 card from your hand and then redraw up to 5.
Done.
So you're going to refill your hand, and you always get a chance to get rid of 1.
It's all so good. Oh my goodness.
Then we go
Oh
into
my
our
goodness.
upkeep phase, where anything that's booted is ready.
You didn't see that.
Then we do our income and upkeep.
So we do income during the sundown?
You do. The next turn is starting.
Okay.
So we go ahead and do it. We add up our income. So you're getting 1 plus you get 4 more Ghost Rock back to your stash,
4 more Ghost Rock.
and you get 4 Ghost Rock back to your stash.
Now, what is this?
That is upkeep. If you don't pay a dude's upkeep, he's going to leave. Man has to eat, right?
When do I pay that?
So you pay it right after you've taken in your income for the turn.
So I got my money.
You got your money. You
Now
have to
I
pay
gotta pay
1 for
for him.
Clint.
I pay
You
one
have to
for
pay
Prescott.
1 for Prescott.
That's fine.
Gotta get his liquor bottle there.
Yes, he is the town drunk, so he does have to have his liquor bottle.
Okay.
Now you go on to again a Lowball phase where you have to ante up 1 of your Ghost Rock, flip 5, and see who wins Lowball.
Now, what happens if I get to the upkeep phase and I can't upkeep somebody?
If you are out of cash, you have to borrow from the bank. If you win Lowball that round, you have to pay back the bank immediately, the one that you borrowed. If you lose, well, you've taken money from the bank and your opponent got it.
Okay.
Basically.
Fair enough. I got 3 2s.
I only got a full house.
Oh, whoa!
I think we got winner over here
I
again.
guess I'll win that one.
All
I win
right.
hands that don't count.
So now we go back to noon actions again.
All right, so I'm gonna play. The First Baptist Church.
It can go to either side of your outfit. It can go here. Even though the Learn to Play mat has spaces for 4 deeds, you can have many more than that on down the street. This is just to kind of show people the basics.
First Baptist Church.
And if you notice, the controller's hand size is raised by 1. So now instead of 5 cards, he can have up to 6 cards.
That's good news.
All right, so I'm going to play a card. I don't know how it works. You're going to have to teach me.
I will teach you.
A coach just came to town.
Fantastic. So this is a special kind of card. It's called a job. They are basically going to try to rob the coach when it comes to town. What you do is you mark the town square, meaning you choose a town square as a target. Any player may oppose the job, so you can choose to oppose it. If successful, gain 4 Ghost Rock. If not, each dude in the opposing posse gains 4 Ghost Rock. So what you do is you've marked the town square. So what you might want to do is move. You would want people in the town square first, because otherwise you're going to have to boot everybody to move them to the town square, which you could do. Yeah, because you have to have somebody there, because what happens is...
No, I'll just do it.
Okay, so what you have to do is you're marking the town square as a target. You can move people out into the town square, and you're going to cause a shootout.
All right.
You don't have to take part in it. If you just want to let him have the 4 Ghost Rock and rob the coach, that's fine. If you want to oppose him, then you're going to send in a posse to oppose him.
I'm going to send just Clint.
Oh, just Clint, huh? You know what I'm gonna do, Zach? I'm just gonna send old. So if Travis goes, he has to boot to get there.
He has to boot to get there.
I'm just gonna send Travis out. We'll send the kid out, see if he can stop you.
All right, so just Travis is going after Clint.
Yeah.
The rest are not right now.
These guys are coming back in. So they're in the town square, but they're just kind of watching. They're seeing how.
So
how
now what do
Travis
we do
is
to
doing.
resolve
We have a
this?
shootout between the 2 of them. So you do it just like your other shootout. You can play shootout actions if you have any. If there's anything you want to do.
Well, he won initiative, so does he go first?
He goes first, if he has anything.
I got nothing.
Okay, so
I'll
you
pass.
go straight to your
So I draw
phase.
7.
You draw 7. You draw 5, and then you can discard and redraw it to 2.
All right, this
Travis
is good news.
is a draw.
All right, we're gonna discard 2 and draw 2.
All right, we're going straight into the reveal.
What do you got, boss?
I only got 3 2s, and I'm cheating.
Well, I only got a pair of 8s.
Oh, baby!
But I'm not
Okay.
cheating.
He's
Wow.
not cheating. So do you have any cheating reacts?
No, I think
You
I'm just gonna
don't.
get
You
that
don't.
one.
So okay. So Travis beat Clint by 1 rank. That means you will have to discard Clint. He doesn't die, which means he might come back. But the job fails for you. It succeeds for you,
So
so
he
you
gets
gain
4
4
money.
Ghost Rock.
Oh, Zach. Woo! The town is mine. The town is mine. You know, this is very interesting.
We don't. have
So
an out
I'm
right
thinking
now. We don't have any.
there's controlling those deeds is going to be important.
Right. That's going to be how. I'll go ahead and explain controlling a deed. Right now, all the deeds are controlled by their owner, the person who put them into play, because nobody's there. However, should Lawrence manage to walk past this group out here in the town square and get here to the First Baptist Church, you would now control the church because you're the only one there.
Now, how is that determined? Do I need to have influence there?
You need to have influence. The player with the most influence there wins. In the case of a tie, the owner still controls.
So if I had a 0 over there, it wouldn't matter.
If you had a 0, it would matter because you have someone there.
Okay.
If you have no one there, it defaults to him. If
Okay.
you have a tie there, it defaults to him. If you have at least one person and you have more, which in that case you would have one person and more, you would take control. So if Lawrence is here, you would control the church, and you would now have those 2 control points during sundown.
Oh,
That's why it would be important for other people to run back and try and chase him off.
I see.
You do not gain the production from it, but you do gain the control from it.
That
You also
is
prevent
wild.
him from getting the production.
So there's actually a lot of positioning and kind of movement that goes on in
This
here.
is a heavy positioning game. It's several players who play a lot of Euro games have actually called it. It's a movement game, and it's almost like a chess match in a lot of ways too. Because part of the game played on a high level is that you're basically trying to maneuver around the town until you can get your opponent out of position. maybe he makes a mistake. Maybe he sends someone to a place before
So they
he
can't
should
join the
have,
posse.
so they can't join the posse. You play actions that will cause people to not be able to join the posse, and then you jump them. You jump them at that point when you can.
Yeah.
Other decks, like if you're playing there's basically two kinds of Morgan Cattle Company decks. There's more you can do, but one of them
Out of the
is
box.
out of the box is a heavy deed deck, where I'm not going to get in fights with you. I'm just going to have so much money coming in that I'm going to buy deeds and get control faster than you can
just gonna buy
get
the town,
influence.
which is
Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to buy out the town before you get enough influence to stop me. The circus, they're going to come out with all these crazy spells, try to lock down your guys, and then use spells to reduce their influence.
Nice.
Because if they cast a tummy twister on someone and the sheriff is running around, throwing up all over town, he's not going to have a lot of influence. So his influence is going to tank, and then they're going to
Nice.
win by having their control.
Well done.
So
Very
everybody
cool.
has their own focus. Those other types of decks and other builds are going to build out even more as expansions come out. The Morgan also is going to have a Mad Scientist deck out of the box that they're going to refine more. The Law Dogs are going to have a little bit of gadgets coming in as well. The Sloan Gang is actually going to be picking up a little bit of magic as well, because they'll have a few hucksters that'll be joining them. So
Great.
each action is going to have several things they can do. So just because you sit down against Sloan doesn't mean, am I playing against a Shootout deck? Am I playing against a Magic deck? What am I going to go against
Yeah.
here?
Very nice. Well, so you tried to do that job. It looks like this is going downhill for the Sun Gang.
Yeah,
does
this
it
is pretty
not?
much over, but
So let's go ahead and just. I'm gonna rub it in here. I'm gonna pay 3 for the Gomorrah Parish. Just
I
throw
wouldn't
some
necessarily
influence
say
out
this
there.
game's over. It's not entirely over.
Any actions?
so I have 1 influence and you have 4 control right now.
Correct.
Yes.
I'm gonna move Silas to the middle.
Yeah, I feel like I want to shoot down Silas here.
That's correct.
Because Silas is obviously making a beeline to one of the other deeds.
There's another thing that can be done here too, though. I want to play around with this a little bit. I'm gonna move Philip, who's in town square, over here.
Okay. So Philip has now walked over to try to take control of Carter's bounties.
I'm gonna move Lawrence to the middle.
All right.
These are heavy, dude.
I'm calling Lawrence out. Calling you out.
I'm accepting.
Oh
Where's your
yeah?
posse?
Is it time?
Travis can be in the posse. He is in town square, even though he's booted. So he'll be
These
there.
guys. This is my posse here. Waiting to go in.
Let's dance.
All right. I will get 5 plus 1. I'm leading with Tommy. He's my stud here, so I'm going to get 6 cards.
I'm gonna lead with Allie. Do you have any actions?
No, I don't.
Don't you forget that.
Yeah, we didn't want to forget that, would we?
I don't have any either.
Okay,
So
good.
I only draw 5. And I have a draw of 2, 3, 4. So I
Yes,
can
2, 3,
discard up to
4.
4.
You can discard up to 4 and redraw.
6 cards. Oh, baby. Oh, and I get to discard 2?
Up to 2.
Up to 2. Not great.
It feels good when you have that kind of hand,
I'll do this. Let's try this out. Oh, wrong choice.
What'd you get?
Oh, baby. Hold on, I gotta make this mess.
This game just danced into my
I
lap.
think it did. Oh,
You risked it all, baby.
unfortunately, I got a pair of 2s.
That is wild.
Just chasing that straight.
Well, the crazy thing, so I have pairs. Pair of 5s,
Oh, no.
pair of 5s,
Oh, no.
and a 5th 5.
Oh, no. Well,
Now that hand is obviously cheating like crazy.
you're cheating
but-
like crazy, so I've got a few things to do here. First,
So your hand rate will go up by 2.
my hand is legal, so it's going to go out by
So
2.
you'll get to a 4.
And then I think my best bet. Oh man, I could have had that straight.
Philip can use his effect, even though he's over there, because it just says each time a player reveals a cheating hand.
Your play hand to draw a card. Nah, that's fine. I will do this. And
So
let's
you're
go.
plus
Ahead,
2.
let's go ahead and give me just 3 of a kind.
Okay?
Which
So
is-
you're gonna
I'll just change this to a 2.
Okay, so that takes you 3 of a kind, then you're at 2 extra ranks, so you're up to rank 6.
be 6 to my 10.
6 to
You
10.
have to
So,
ace 2 dudes.
yes, you have to ace up to 2 of them.
Okay, I gotta ace 2 dudes. Well, obviously, I think these guys need to go. Aced.
All right.
And whenever something's aced, does it go out of the game in a
They
different way?
go to an area called Boot Hill, which means they are dead, which means you cannot play another Prescott Utter for the rest of the game because he is dead. Every character on your side of the table is considered unique. You can have one on your side, you can have one on your side, but you can't have more than one of a character.
Alrighty, well, that's me. What else you got?
Are you gonna run?
Well, yeah, I'm out of here. Where do I run to?
You run home.
If you run home. You boot and you run home.
Uh-oh.
See what I'm saying?
I called you out and I got smoked.
So you've got 2 influence, and I've got 1.
So now it's back to noon actions.
I'm gonna use my my home's noon boot action,
Uh-oh.
and I'm gonna boot this dude.
What does that do?
If he's still in town during the sundown, I can either gain a ghost rock or give him a control point.
Okay.
Town square is mine.
Let's do, let's put old Clementine out here at my home. It's gonna cost me 3.
All right. I'm gonna move Lawrence to the First Baptist Church.
Come on in, baby. So if I'm in Town Square, can I now move over to, I'm at home. These guys are at home. So can she move over?
She can move over. Tommy cannot.
and
Because
hit
he
Blackwood. All right, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna call Clementine out.
Oh yeah, she's got to accept. She's got to. It's
All right,
too.
I have no actions. Do you?
No, I don't.
So she's a 0. Does that mean he draws 0, or does she always count as 1?
She counts as 1.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4,
She
5.
has to be a shooter, right? If she's a shooter,
Five.
she only gets a 5.
No, that's right. Yes, you're correct. Yeah, because that's right. Because she's your lead shooter. She's not an extra person.
I just
so.
get 5
You
cards.
just get
Huh?
5. You're playing 5-card stud right now.
Well, they would be good if I got a couple draws, maybe. But
What'd you get?
I got a pair of 3s. Dangerous pair of 3s, but a pair of 3s no less.
Pair of 7s. So what
Oh.
happens in a tie?
In a tie, it goes to each player has to take 1 casualty.
Oh, perfect.
So they would both be discarded.
That's exactly
if
what I
there's any card
want.
effects that target a winner, it would be the higher ranked hand. So the 7 would be considered the winner.
I own that church, man. And old
All right.
Phillips over there on the.
Let's see what I got here.
I've got your sun in my eyes.
So I got nothing. I'm gonna pass.
Oh, I'm gonna pass too.
Alright, so as per your ability, Silas gains a control point. So now we go to Sundown and we check out how much people have. So you have 4 control to 0 influence. You have 1, 2, 3. Nope, you don't have control of that one.
2 points to 2
So the Law
influence.
Dogs own the town as of Sundown.
Yeah, they
Taking
do.
Gamora.
Thank you so much. All right,
No,
so
thank you.
I feel like, and we played some of the old Doomtown, and this is definitely a game that, at first, I think it looks a lot different at first. Then once you get used to it and experience with it, and then you start to play it a little bit more advanced.
Yes.
And then you're moving around a lot more. The shootouts are probably less reckless. They're just more advantage, opportunity, that kind of thing.
Players tend to, in their early games, players tend to have a lot of just really dramatic shootouts that wipe out an entire side. As you begin to learn the nuances of the game, you get into longer games where people are not necessarily committing to everything right away and learning to play a longer game.
Well, that's
looking
great.
for the wins.
Zach, what do you think?
It's awesome.
It's great, isn't
I'm
it?
so excited about this game. The flavor is just immense. I'm really excited to dive in, honestly.
Yeah, I'm feeling the exact same way, man. Thanks so much, Todd.
Thank you guys.
Absolute
we really
pleasure.
appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
Very
of
much.
course.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you more later in the week.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll be catching up with more from Doomtown Reloaded with AEG Games and plenty more, I'm sure, to come, interviews and such. So stay tuned, stick with us. Doomtown Reloaded, fantastic looking game.